Hi guys, it's Jodie from Unconventional Cross Stitch here in what is now a very cold Perth, Western Australia. I've been in a few groups and I've noticed some really awesome questions, and I thought what a great opportunity to talk about some of the cross stitch tools that we use, and some of them you might have heard of, some of them you might not have. So without further ado and not too much blah blabbering, I'm going to get on to the first, because over the years, and I've been stitching since maybe at 16, I can't remember, a long time anyway, I've changed the tools and the way I stitch. Even from like a fabric perspective, I started off with no assistance, just the fabric, and then I moved into having a hoop, and then I went to scroll frame, and then I went to lap frame, and now I'm into the Lowry stand, the Lowry work stand. Can't say enough good things about the Lowry work stand, and it's a small family operated business over in, I think that's the UK, so if you haven't looked at those, definitely have a look and get on it. It's well worth the money, every penny, so have a look at that. So the first thing I'll talk about are needle minders. They're magnetic. I do sometimes get asked if there's a difference in quality. Absolutely. You definitely get what you pay for. I've heard of some absolute horror stories. So I use the silver variety of the rare earth magnets, and they're quite thick. Side note, don't put these near electronics. I've never had a problem with them, but you never know. So I've heard of horror stories of people using black magnets, and they might look okay on the outside, and I've actually seen them. They actually come with some of my raw materials that I buy, but they mark fabric. They are horrible, and they're standard magnets. They're not rare earth, so they're very weak. They're good for fridge magnets. That's about it, really. They're not really suitable for anything else. So that's a consideration. So quality, definitely look for quality, because if you get one that's not, you're just going to have a really poor experience. You'll have poor magnetism, your needles will fall off all the time, the magnets will mark the fabric, like there's so many problems that you can get. So definitely look out for quality. I use these all the time, so I've designed these needle minders for that purpose, you know, to be lightweight, durable, good quality, all those sorts of things. So yes, I also sell them, and that's why I know a fair whack about them. So these, I might actually hide that because it's a swear, but these are my button badge style ones. I call them button badge style because I make them on the same equipment that I do for my badges. So they're really neat, and you've got the two magnets, and then you just pop your needle minder on the front and you gently attach your magnet to the back. Now they're really cool because when you flip it over and you say cut off some floss, you can attach your needle here while you're tying off and doing your thing, and then you can flip back over. So they're really easy to use. Needle. Ta-da! So for thread parkers as well, they're really awesome because you can, and especially when you use the littlies. Oh, I should have silenced my phone. Have I got a littly? No, I don't have a. I've got tiny like little 12mm ones floating around, and I use them if I'm thread parking a lot, or if, you know, I don't want to cover up too much of my pattern while I'm working, I'll use one of my tiny ones. Or, you know, sometimes your paper will curl, so my little ones are really good for pinning down the pattern while you're working. So, you know, they're really awesome. And when you're not using them, you can put them on your fridge, or I've actually done this a couple of times. I like to wear them as badges too, and I like that because there's no pin on them. I'm not going to damage anything, so I've done that on backpacks and all sorts because I don't like pins all that much in like my special dresses. So I've got some nice expensive dresses that I don't want to damage, and putting a pin through it, like, wouldn't imagine it. So they're pretty cool for stuff like that. So anyway, so you've got that. I'd say a lot of you know about hoop frames, but I'll just show you those anyway. So this is a hoop frame, and it's got super easy screws, so you just unscrew it and out it pops. So that's your bigger ring. This is the smaller ring, and then it's just a case of you push it over the top, and then you want to tighten it to get your tension, so that your fabric's not flopping around. On a side note, be careful with these, because if you've got, say you've stitched here and it's squished between those two hoops, you can squash your X's, you can squash your stitches. So in between, undo it so you're not permanently squashing or damaging anything. And always make sure that your hoop is clean, otherwise you're going to get dirty rub marks on it. So lots of things to consider with those. I won't show you a scroll frame because I don't have it through here. But if you're interested in seeing my scroll frame and how I've set it up and used it with Velcro, just leave a comment below and I'm more than happy to do a video on that. So that covers those sorts of things. Now, I think this was the Stitches Coven on Facebook. Someone posted a picture of one of these. I'm missing the pin. I have no idea where that's gone. It's somewhere in the cupboard. But someone was like, what the heck is this? And I was like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in years. I know I've got one floating around somewhere. So this nifty tool, I call it a bobbinator. And I've got some bobbins here. So what you do, it's not going to stay in because I don't have the pin. But if you've ever wondered, like, bobbins have little holes in them. What's that for? It's actually so that you can pop your pin through. I'm really peeved I don't have the pin. Getting back to see if I can see it. I think I can. Oh no, that's a whole new one. I've actually got two. Ha! What do I need two for? Ah! I'm back. There you go. So this is a whole new one. So it's made by Birch. So as you can see, the bobbin's in there. And then of course you'd have, this is my needle minders, but for illustrative purposes, because I don't use bobbins anymore. So what you do is you get your little bobbinator. Just trying to remember how I do it. So it's got little holes, like little slits in it. And hopefully it fits over this box, because this box isn't specifically designed. Okay, there we go. So I fit it on, and then just imagine that I've got my bobbin in here. It's not going to stay, but, and then it's got little, I call them wings. It's got wings. These wings are joined, there we go. So put the beginning of my floss there, and then I would, oh, you can see it from here, so just look down here for a minute. Oops. So I've just got it here. I'm holding my floss here, and then it's not going to hold, but, and I would have braced the base too if I could. You won't. And you sort of just imagine, use your imaginations here, that I've got my floss and I'm just putting my floss into my bobbin. So I got really good tension using these. The noise can grind on you a bit, and if you do enough of them, you actually start to wear the plastic down. Can you hear that? I think that's part of the reason I stopped doing bobbins. So yeah, that's those. So that is a bobbinator. So what did they actually, what's the technical term for it? A floss winder. A floss winder. And again, yeah, that's by Birch. So that's one of the brands you can get. Yeah, that's the little locking pin in there. So I think they're really great tools if you're a bobbin person. I loved it, apart from the squeakiness. And it's even got a picture, yeah, of it attached to the box there. So that's what these are, and they're quite cheap too. So they're really awesome little tools. So that's what those are. There you go. And then my lucky last tool that I haven't used in a long time. I'm not actually sure what this is called. It's made by Pako, P-A-K-O, so maybe Pako. I can't pronounce things. I'm pretty hopeless. But it's got foam in it. And this was the last one I did. I've gone and pushed it too far in, so let's just push it back out. So it didn't come with this many. I had to buy these separately. But these are little floss cards, and you're meant to draw your symbol on the inside. So I actually cut the symbols out and put them on there. Oh, please focus. Don't focus on me, focus on this. Oh, this camera. Hello! Oh, there we go, yay! Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so symbols, and then I put the DMC number on there as well. And then I'd slide it in to my little foam doohickey. And then when I'm finished with the colour but I've still got floss left over, I just stab the needle in there and leave it there. I'm actually thinking about trying that out again so that I don't have my floss boxes on the couch with me, because when hubby's there, he's very long, he's over 6 foot, and he kind of gets stuck on just half the couch, and I'm always scared he's going to kick the boxes and send floss everywhere because I use baggies. So that was a really cool tool, and I'm thinking about giving it a crack again just to see whether it's quicker than doing my current system. So yeah, I'm being very thoughtful now while I'm looking at that. So I've had that for years and the foam's still good, even though it looks pretty bashed in. Still, see, there's the needle. So yeah, they were really good. I think I used to have like three needles to a square, because I could make 3 lots, because you know you split 6 into 2 each. So that's what I was doing there. So that's really all the tools I've got to talk about at the moment. If there's anything else you'd like me to talk about tool-wise, let me know. I'm more than happy to have a chitty chat about it. But I just thought, you know, I've got these tools laying around. It would be cool to show you guys and see whether there's anything that you can use and try out in your cross-stitch journey. So that came from the Fox collection. I don't know where you'd get that from now, or even what you'd call it. How mystifying. If you know what it's called, put a comment below and let me know. I'm sure it's got a technical name for it. I just call it the floss foamy thingamajiggy. Very technical. Oh, I got a finish. Oh, I got a finish done. Hang on, I'm gonna run. I'll be back. Oh, I don't normally run, but look, I finished it. I'm so excited. Skull. Love him. So he needs to go to the framers, and then I'm going to put him up for sale. So the ultimate goal at the moment is to sell my finished works, because I only have so much wall space. I'm looking at my wall at the moment. I only have so much wall space, and I kind of have to think about doing something with them. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I mean, cross stitch is a funny thing, isn't it? Because I watch quite a few artists online, and they're really cool, like, through Instagram, and some make mugs and others do sculptures and those sorts of things. Now and then there's one that makes really cool room guardians. Like, I've been watching them for ages. I love their room guardians, and they can go for about $1,000 or more US. And then sculptures, you're looking at like $1,000 to $2,000, and even these mugs are like a couple of $100 US each. And nobody has a problem with paying for it. And absolutely, I think that's great, because their art is worth that much. And I feel that everybody's original art is worth that much, because you're pouring your heart and your soul and your creativity and your time into making these, and your materials as well. Like, to handcraft something isn't easy, it's not cheap, and it's very labor intensive. We as artists don't work from factories, and we need a living wage. We have to feed ourselves and clothe ourselves. Yeah, I do cross stitch as my full-time job. This is what I do. I kind of fell into it as a hobby. I loved it. It paid for the hobby. And then when no one would give me a job because I hadn't worked in a while, I took time out to be a mum, or they had really unrealistic expectations, or they were just, some interviews were very demeaning. They'd ask questions like, do you have children? Oh, I don't think this job would really work for you because you have kids, and you know, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't a feel good. So I decided, I don't want to be a scientist anymore. I don't want to work for the man anymore, I guess you'd say. I've had enough of being judged. I'm going to work for myself. And I have, and it works for me. So I tried to I'm sorry, I'm distracted outside. The dogs are playing. So yeah, so I work for myself now, and I'm trying to pay myself a living wage, so I don't go on super fancy trips anywhere on my business dollar, and 9 times out of 10 I'm going to end up ask my accountant, I end up spending it on more cross-stitch stuff so I can do more awesome things for my customers and new needle minders and new concepts. Like right now I have something really exciting going on with one of our artists, Natalie, and you know, we've got a few things in the works, so I can't wait. It's starting in June, so I don't know how long it's going to take to bring it to you guys, but the sooner the better, totally. So I'm really excited about that. I've been talking about this for a while with Nat and how much I want to do it, and I'm finally doing it. It's really cool. So, you know, like, and it's just, I feel like it's a real privilege too to be able to serve you guys in the world of cross stitch, because yeah, I'm bringing things to the market that people haven't, and some people will judge me for it. Oh, you do nudes and you do zombies and you do this, and I found that everybody has a different taste, and I've been asked for everything over the years, absolutely everything, and I want cross stitch to be a world where everyone is welcome, everyone is equal, and everybody can have something that they can enjoy stitching. And if boobs or those sorts of things make you uncomfortable, that's totally cool. That's all, like, that's fine. Everybody's different. Just scroll past, and I've tried to design the website so that I can give people category forewarnings of, you know, this category has nudity, this category has gore, like, and then I've tried for the more, like, I guess you'd call them extreme categories, like fetish, to exclude them from the shop hall and just have them a bit more covert and within their own like category, and lots of warnings of this is like pretty out there and not for everyone. Because yeah, I just want everyone to have something to stitch. I know what it was like back in early 2000s even, where there was nothing for me to stitch. There was nothing I liked. There was nothing I enjoyed. I didn't want to stitch a flower, and it's kind of sad. So I want everyone to be inspired. So yeah, that's a real tangent, isn't it, from talking about this? But yeah, back to but yeah, everybody needs to be paid for their art. So why not cross stitch? This artwork. Wow, I did go on a tangent. This artwork took me months. It was only meant to be a month project, but lots of things happened, including me getting sick. But you know, this took, I'd say, over 50 to 100 hours easily I spent on this, because I was pretty slow. Oh, it feels nice too. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, this took me time. So why does no one want to pay for the art? That's what I don't get. You know, we've poured our heart and soul into this. This is worth something. So that's what I'm trying to change, and it was one of my mantras since I started this business, was to change the way people see cross stitch. This is valuable art, and it's different. You know, from this distance, even on the computer screen, it looks like I've painted it. It's not. It's hundreds and hundreds of tiny X's that I've hand stitched. You know, there's tens of colors in there too. So I want people to start valuing this for what it is, and to change that, and to change the mindset. That's the word I'm looking for. I want to change the mindset of the world to go, this art is worth something. I'm going to pay a fair price for it. Because if we can pay someone $2,000 for a sculpture that's taken either the same amount of time, or maybe even slightly more or slightly less, who knows? I don't sculpt, I don't know. If they are being paid fair price, we should too. And if we can change that, like, that would be really great. So that's one of my aims, and I wanted to have an exhibition, but I've sort of come to realize that it might never happen. I'm never going to have enough artworks to exhibit. And I've got, what have I got up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 up, 9, and probably 3 more. Yeah, I'd say 3 more in the drawer that I haven't framed yet, because framing is expensive. Yeah, even framing is expensive. So there we go. Change the world. Join me in the revolution. Let's change the world. Let's not accept subpar for our art. Let's not except that we should be paid less simply because no one believes that cross stitch is worth anything. Let's set the new standard. So anyway, I think I've chatted enough, and I'm excited that I got to share a few of my thoughts and considerations. And hubby flies back today. The kids don't know. He's coming back a day early. So we've been apart for, I'm going to say, 6 weeks. We got 3 days in that 6 weeks together. So it's been a really long haul. So we've decided to, we've got a long weekend coming up. That's in June. So June 1st, 2nd and 3rd, we're going to do a little family getaway, and we're going to go for a bit of a, I'll call it an eco retreat. We're going to go detach from technology. I'll still be contactable, of course, like I can't not be. That's my jam. So yeah, I'll still be contactable. I'll still be checking in every day, but we're going to go spend some time together as a family, because we've just done about 6 weeks apart. So family's important for us. We want to be together and enjoy some time together. So we're going to go, and my family, my children and my husband have never been to, it's called the Margaret River Wine Region. And I think I mumbled that, Margaret River Wine Region. It's very foodie, cultural, it's got a lot going on, and I've been going there since I was a little girl. My grandmother lived there, and my great-great-grandfather had a farm there, a cow farm, and he was a really awesome man. I never got to meet him, unfortunately, before he passed, but he was, I'd call him quite a serious botanist. He made the Moneymaker tomato, and so I'm told, coloured freesias. There's quite a few books that he wrote on plants, so he was pretty rad. So I've got a long history in Margaret River. I remember glass blowing. I think one of our relations did glass blowing up there for a while, or someone we knew. And I even lived in Margaret River for 6 months as a kid too. I came up from Shetland and did 6 months in Margaret River and went to school there. And I loved that school. I made some really great friends. That's where I discovered Captain Planet as well. So a lot of great memories, and I've been going back ever since. Now as an adult I go back, so you know, Margaret River's like a second home to me, I guess. So I'm going to head down, yep, that's right, I'm going to head down there with my family and show the kids and my husband. I can't believe my husband has lived in Perth for, I can't remember how old he was when he actually moved here. He finished school in South Australia, so yeah, he's been in Perth now. He's been a WA boy for, I'd say, at least 10 years easily, because we've been together 10 years, and he's never seen Margaret River. Has to happen. And our kids are nearly double digits, and they've never seen Margaret River. It's got to happen. That's where Margaret River Chocolate Factory's from, with their, well, once famous giant freckles. But hey, if anybody from Margaret River Chocolate Factories were watching, what happened to your chocolate freckles? Now they're little. Giant. Big. Not little. Bring back the giant freckle. I want to see a massive freckle. And we're not talking about that unpleasant freckle. We're talking about chocolate, and it's got 100,000 sprinkles on it, and it's just like everything that childhood is made of. So yeah, anyway, again with the tangents, I need to get off this and go work, because I have no idea how long I've been blabbering for, but I feel like it's been way too long, and complete tangent, since this movie was only meant to be about the equipment and like bits and pieces. But here we are, having a good old gander. Is that right, gander? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great week and a wonderful weekend. Happy stitching, and we'll catch up again soon on the flip side while I try and find the record button. So yeah, take it easy, guys. See ya.